Okay. We'll continue. Start. So, Sanaji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. It is what year?
Prabhuji, कितना दिन चलेगा गर्मी?
As per the newspaper, another 2 more days. 2 more days. अभी आज
Monday.
भी हो सकता है, बारिश आज भी हो सकता है because by whatever newspaper it is in 13th, 15th it will rain starts. It's about anyway. Lord only will decide. Okay, चलिए. Hare Krishna, Sugarna ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sushila Krishna. Sushila ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Shobha Sagaram ji, Hare Krishna. Shobha Sagaram ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Veer Krishna Prabhu and Mata ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. अच्छा है, मौसम अच्छा है, very good. Good weather. Good for health. Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna. Are you there, Janardhan ji? Bhuvika ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Let's begin. Doing this, everybody can mute your response. I think some sound is coming. Okay, we'll begin with our prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Om. So welcome everyone for the Friday evening session on Bhagavad Gita. We have been discussing from 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And so far, Krishna has answered all the 6 questions of Arjuna. Arjuna, in the beginning of this chapter, has asked 6 questions. What is Kshetra? What is Kshetragya? What is Jnana? What is Gyeya? What is Prakriti? What is Purusha? And Krishna has answered all of them. Up to 24th verse, we have seen Krishna has answered all these points. Just to briefly understand, Kshetra, Krishna says, this body is Kshetra. Every living entity has a body. Body is a covering actually. So this body is the field of activity. Kshetra means field of activity. Kshetrajna means one who knows the field of activity. It is soul, spirit soul. Krishna says that there are 2 souls in every body. Individual soul and super soul. Individual soul is restricted to understanding his own body. Super soul knows everybody's body, every living entity's body. That is super soul. Kshetrajnam chapi sarva kshetreshu bharata. And this body is constituted of, field of activity is made up of different elements from Prakriti. Right? There are 24 elements which make this whole body. How it is made, Krishna explained in the beginning of this chapter. And understanding that we are a combination of soul, super soul, and the material elements, Prakriti, as a Kshetra, this is knowledge. Right? Not that we are the body, this is Ajnana, this is ignorance. And how to develop this understanding that I am spirit soul, I am super soul, that our super soul is with me, I have a soul, and in this material world, I have a specific function. How do we know? Krishna explained the process of knowledge. Right? 20 items of knowledge Krishna explained in 8 to 12 verses, 8 to 12th verse. And further, Krishna explained about the object of knowledge, the goal of knowledge. The goal of knowledge is to know the soul and the super soul. Soul is we who are eternal, individual souls are eternal. They are subordinate to Supreme Lord. Right? Krishna further said that the individual souls are have nothing to do with this material world, but somehow they got entangled. So this we have to understand. This is what is the object of knowledge. Not that, oh, I am this body, I don't have anybody, I'm independent. This is a ajnana, right? So when Krishna said the super soul's position is unique, it is all pervasive, all powerful. His hands and legs are everywhere, his eyes are everywhere, right? His senses are everywhere. He is the source of all the various aspects in our body, means our senses, and everything is from Krishna. Krishna is the Lord. And Lord is so powerful that he is very far away and very nearby. Right? He is very fine and very gross. So Lord is. So understanding all these things like this about Lord, that he is everything and anything, is Krishna only, is what constitutes the object of knowledge, Gya. So like this, when you know very clearly what is Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana, Gya, Krishna says, this will qualify you to come to the level of getting the nature of Krishna. Otherwise, right now we have a material nature, Jiva Bhuta. We have to become Brahma Bhuta. So that is, Krishna says, that is possible when you know things properly. Then, further Krishna says that we as living entities are imitating the position of Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. Actually, our position is to be Prakriti, subordinate. We are a nature, we are energy of Krishna, Prakriti. Right? We are one of the energies of Krishna. Material nature is one energy of Krishna. We are also energy of Krishna, but we are imitating as Purusha. So somehow we have got entangled like this because of our tendency to imitate Krishna. We have been given different types of bodies based on our desires. And these bodies are being awarded by the material nature through the orders of Lord Krishna. And like this, we are going on in different species of life, enjoying sometimes as devatas and rotating from devata to ant to elephant, like this. All our life is going on since so many millions of lifetimes. So realizing this, that we are being going on in the cycle of birth and death repeatedly. And Paramatma also is sitting with us, patiently waiting when we will turn our face, and he's observing and he's monitoring everything. In fact, he's also sanctioning whatever you desire. Sooner we realize that this is not my position. My position is to turn my attention towards Krishna. Then only I'll be happy. Krishna is waiting for that. And for that, he has made all arrangements. In human form of life, he has given Bhagavad Gita. He has given many other arrangements so that we can turn our face towards him. So knowing all these things, Krishna again says, this philosophy concerning Prakriti, Purusha, how the modes are acting on all of us, creating different bodies, this also will liberate you from this material world. So the whole Bhagavad Gita, if you see carefully, every now and then, Krishna is reminding us how to liberate from this world, how to go back from this material world. And go back to spiritual world actually. No, not come back to here, because it's not our place. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramama. Repeatedly you see, carefully if you see, again and again and again Krishna is telling, this is not your place, come to spiritual world. But we are so foolish. We want to be here only, happily, nicely, happy home, nice family, everything is settled down. We make arrangements as though we are going to be here forever. That is our foolishness. It is called madness. Right? So now, Krishna, after explaining the various key concepts with regard to Arjuna's questions, now Krishna says some other aspects with regard to how should be our vision, how to develop this aspect of the understanding, knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetragya, Prakriti, Purusha, and the various aspects of the different process of knowledge, object of knowledge, how to cultivate them, how to develop them, and how to have proper vision is what Krishna is going to explain in the rest of this chapter, last 10 verses, 11 verses. So verse number 25, Krishna says, Dhyanen atmani pashyanti kechid atmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. So here, Krishna is telling, like this, the super soul, atmanam atmana, the super soul is perceived or realized by some people through dhyana, meditation, by other people, anye sankhena yogena. Sankhya yoga means analysis of this world, analytical study. It's called cultivation of knowledge, also known as Jnana Yoga, which Krishna explained in 5th chapter, but to some extent. See, so some realize super soul by meditation, some realize super soul by cultivation of knowledge, and some are trying to realize the super soul through working without fruitive results or fruitive desire. That is called karma yoga. Right? Either through dhyana yoga, sankhya yoga, or karma yoga, they're all trying to elevate themselves. So basically, Krishna is mentioning this aspect of realization of super soul, because when you understand super soul, then you also know who is soul and why the soul is entangled in the body at so many aspects. Prabhupada gives a nice example elsewhere. When you're under the sun, you not only see the sun, you also see yourself. Correct? In darkness, neither you can see yourself nor anything around you. While you're under the sun, you see the sun as well as you and everything else, which means there is a lot of clarity or understanding, knowledge with regard to when you are under the sun. Right? Likewise, when you realize super soul, or when you perceive the presence of super soul within the body, this will enable you to realize who you are, what is this world around you, why are you in this body, all these other aspects of understanding become revealed. That's the point. So basically, Krishna is trying to explain that there are two categories or two classes of people in this world. One category is called the atheist, Nastic. Atheists or agnostics or skeptics, Prabhupada says here. Because they don't want to believe that there is something known as soul, super soul. They're all very much absorbed in gross things. There's a fine difference between atheist. Atheist means outrightly denying existence of God. Agnostic means maybe, may not be, not sure. That is called agnostic. Skeptic means for everything he has a comment. For anything you say, he'll find out some reasoning of his own. That is called skeptic. Not having no clarity about anything. Right? Skeptic. That was always skeptical. Yeah, maybe Krishna has come, but he is ordinary person. He's like us only, having all the short weaknesses like us. Maybe he was powerful, but like that. There are many people who are skeptics. So these people are as one class, and there are also people who are faithful. Basically, Krishna is talking about faithless people and faithful people. Right? Krishna has been telling this from the 3rd chapter onwards. People who are with good faith, they follow my instructions nicely, right? If you see in the 3rd chapter only, Krishna says this. I'll open that verse. Yeah. 31st and 32nd verse in 3rd chapter. If you see, Krishna says, Ye me matam idam nityam anutishtanti manava shraddhavanto anusuyanto. So here Krishna says, one who follows these teachings of mine very faithfully without envy, shraddhavanto, with shraddha and without asuya. Without asuya means without envy. Krishna says, he will become free from the bondage of karma. Muchyante tepi karma vihi. 3.31 and 32, Krishna says, those who out of envy do not follow these teachings, disregard these teachings, do not practice them regularly, they are to be considered bereft of knowledge. Sarva jnana vimudhamstam. They are befooled. Vimudha. They are doomed to ignorance and bondage. Viddhinashta achetsa. Like when you go to 4th chapter again, Krishna explains this. He says, samshayatma, right? Yeah. Where is it? Yeah. See, verse number 39 and 40 again. In the 4th chapter, Krishna says, a faithful man who is absorbed in transcendental knowledge, faithful, Shraddhava labate jnanam tatpara samyatendriya. Jnanam labdva param shanti machirena adhigacchati. Faithful person who is following these various instructions, who can control his senses, attains supreme destination. Whereas that one who is not faithful, ashraddhadhana, and one who is doubtful, one who is not faithful, who is faithless, who is doubtful about revealed scriptures, they don't attain God consciousness. Krishna says, for samshayatma, skeptics, samshayatma, and there is no happiness neither in this world nor in the next. So like this, again and again Krishna goes on about 2 classes of people. Right? 9th chapter, if you see, very beginning, 9.3 only Krishna says, Ashraddhadhana dharmasyasya parantapa aprapyam nam nivartam. The one who is not having faith that I am the supreme. Then Krishna says, it is not faithful on the path of devotion. They will again come back in the cycle of birth and death. So Krishna has been making this distinction very clearly from the beginning. Faithful and faithless. Right? The atheist class of people and the faithful class of people, people with faith. So here, when you say people who are doing dhyana, people who are doing some jnana, karma, they may do to their own level or to their own level of understanding of who is absolute. It's like in Kumbh Mela, we could see so many sadhus who are doing so many things. Right? But Krishna says, any sadhu or yogi, the highest yogi is he who can meditate on Krishna. Yogina api sarvesha madgate nantaratma. He is the highest yogi. 6th chapter Krishna says. So, somebody who is professing to be a sadhu or a yogi or great saint, he may do anything, whatever he's trying to do. He may analyze, just like Prabhupada gives example of the Sankhya yogi or the Jnana yogi. He may analyze the world. The Sankhya yoga is called metaphysics in the Western countries. Metaphysics means analyzing the world, how it is made up of, what it is made up of. They come to the point of telling that yes, this world is made up of 24 elements. 25th element also they come to understand that there is soul. But beyond soul, there is super soul, 26th element. That they don't understand. that they don't want to acknowledge. That's why it is atheistic. Right? So like that, people, there are various classes or categories of so-called spiritualists who profess to follow some different disciplines and try to do various activities, various other aspects, but they're not trying to realize the absolute truth. Right? The yoga basically means the process which can connect you to the Supreme. Supreme according to your realization. Right? But broadly speaking, Supreme Absolute Truth can be realized as Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Right? So Super Soul realization here, that is Paramatma realization, can happen through, if you properly follow the Dhyana Yoga as Krishna explained in the 6th chapter, you can come to that realization. Right? But simply doing some gymnastics and yoga and other things with no purpose of realizing Super Soul, that is of no use. It's simply trying to keep your body healthy. How long will keep your body healthy? Is the question. Right? So like this, people are having their own limited understanding of performance of different spiritual practices for their own personal benefits, personal agenda. They don't have any spiritual goal. The spiritual goal of realizing Paramatma, Kshetrajna. No. So Prabhupada is telling, like this, people go on doing so many things in the material world based on their own understanding and their perception and various realizations in this world. So it is very one who is very fortunate can come in association with pure devotee, Prabhupada, and then they can move forward in their life of devotional service. Otherwise, they'll be stuck in one discipline and go on doing that. I think that I am doing something spiritual. But ultimately, you will go to some level, as Krishna says, whatever you do, you're doing everything indirectly to me, but you will get that whatever you're doing to that level only, realization. But going beyond this and coming to the level of practicing even karma you do it as offering to Krishna. Karma yoga you do, not simply karma. Karma yoga means, as Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give it as an offering to me, Krishna says. That is what Krishna expects us to do. If we don't do that, that simply it is going to be it is only going to be entanglement for us. So like that, jnana, speculation, going on speculating without any purpose, that is not going to lead us anywhere. It is only going to take us in circles. We will be going round. Right? That is not the purpose. That's why Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After many, many millions of births, going in different bodies, taking different lives. Finally, one may realize that Krishna is everything. Oh, why so much time? Why don't you take directly? Krishna is everything. That's the point. So here Krishna is indicating that there are different classes of people who are not ready to take up the path of spiritual discipline, which is authorized. They follow so many things which is unauthorized. Right? So like this, many people are there doing so many things. That's why Krishna says, very rarely somebody you can say that he can understand Krishna. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Right? In 7th chapter, Krishna says. So why? Because Krishna in this chapter also you see he's been repeatedly telling. In verse 24, in verse 19, again in verse 8 to 12, that coming out of the cycle of birth, and that is the main purpose. Not simply showing some yogic power or some jnana power. Oh, I know so many things. I can give big lectures, big debates. I can attend. No, that is not the purpose. Or I can do some gymnastics, some yoga process. I know. I'll teach you. What is the purpose? Is the main objective here. But our purpose is to realize Krishna, know Krishna. You should perceive Krishna. Everything. So next verse, 26th verse. Anyetvevam ajanantah shrutvenebhya upasate tepi chaatitaranteva mrutyum shruti parayana. So we talked about some people following some spiritual discipline or so-called spiritual practices they are doing. And there are others, Krishna says, anye, who are totally ignorant about spiritual understanding. No spiritual understanding. And they are not atheists also. Somehow they are ignorant. They appear to be atheistic or agnostic or without philosophical understanding. and practically zero philosophy, which is the condition of most of the people in Kali Yuga. Right? Somehow they have not got exposed to, or not they're not got trained to. They are not, as Prabhupada says, not conversant in spiritual knowledge. And when these people hear about Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna's teachings from authentic sources, Shrutvenabhya upasa, they start worshipping Krishna. And it is said, by doing this, they transcend death. They come out of the cycle of birth and death only because of their inclination to hear. It's like all of us have been trying to hear the instructions of Krishna from Bhagavad Gita every week once. And of course, every day you're trying to do it at your personal level. So the point here is, somehow, if you can lend your hearing for the authentic messages from Bhagavad Gita and similar scriptures wherein Krishna is glorified, that will be the cause for your liberation. So Prabhupada says, this verse specifically is applicable to modern society. Because practically, people in the modern society, you cannot say them atheist also. Right? You cannot say them agnostics also. Mostly people are not that. Somehow they're not conversant in spiritual knowledge. Because at least I have met many people. When you start talking some reasonably, logically, scientifically presenting the instructions of Gita, they feel it's very convincing, and I would like to understand more. Somehow it is not presented to them, or rather they were not exposed to this knowledge, or they didn't endeavor to get this knowledge. That is what it is. So when they are given opportunity to hear about Lord Krishna, about the teachings of Gita in a very systematic way, in an authentic manner, then they develop a proper inclination towards performance of the different activities of devotion as given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So this is what exactly Prabhupada says here, that as for the common man, if he is a good soul, then there is a chance for advancement by hearing. Let's see. Practically, the situation of Kali Yuga. People are having inclination, somehow they're not got that association of devotees. So Prabhupada says, ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement is meant to give that association to people, give that atmosphere, environment to people to come together and hear about Krishna. Right? This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed while he was having his, talks with one more devotee by name Ramananda Rai in South India, in his South Indian tour. There was a nice point made by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that simply endeavoring to understand through the speculative process, jnane prayasam, go on speculation, go on trying to analyze things like jnanis do. It's called empirists, or the people who are trying to search for truth. They go on speculation. That process you should give up, he says. With your own endeavor, we cannot do, because our understanding is limited, and what all you are going to analyze in this material world, it's not going to bring out any results for you. Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva. The process Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends is that jivanti sanmukritam bhavadiya vartam sthane sita shutigatam tanuvan manoni. Whatever situation you are in, whatever condition you are in, you simply hear from authentic, authoritative sources. Right? Then very quickly you will progress in your devotional service. Prabhupada says very clearly. That's what ISKCON Prabhupada started. How he started? He went to America and he was sitting in Tompkins Square Park, 1966, and he was doing kirtan for 3 hours. Hearing that kirtan, all the hippies, young girls and boys, they were coming, sitting, and they were participating. That's how the movement started. The pure devotee is chanting Hare Krishna mantra and they're all participating in it. Just hearing. That's all. Because they were feeling very good to hear. That's all. Prabhupada didn't have mridanga, no karta. Just one Prabhupada says dugdugi, one small drum he had, which these hippies only were having. He went only with some kartal, but he was alone. So he was playing the drum because that will give more sound. Small, drum. So like that he started the movement. And they were all hearing, they got pulled or attracted to that transcendental sound of Hare Krishna mantra. Right? So Prabhupada says, in this age, if people can take advantage of hearing from realized souls, gradually they will be able to understand everything. So Prabhupada did the kirtan like that, and when Prabhupada was going back to his place, many people started following him. Right? And slowly they all become interested, and Prabhupada started giving them Bhagavad Gita lessons, make them chant Hare Krishna mantra on beats. Like this, slowly the movement started. Let's see how it all began. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very clearly recommended that in this age, we did not change our position, that we had to go to some Himalayas or some very remote place, sacred place. Then you will chant Hare Krishna or do some meditation. No. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, remain in that position and just chant Hare Krishna mantra and hear. And hear from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Nowadays, it is all technology has given us such a wonderful opportunity. You can hear, it's like we're having Zoom session, all of you from different parts of India, you're all participating. Like this, we should hear. Hear means very nicely, patiently hear. Very important, right? Yesterday, we were discussing about in Chaitanya Charitamrita how nicely it is mentioned. The very first chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the literatures which is about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very nicely it is explained how just by hearing what happens to us, right? Sunile, it is in Bengali, very nice. Sunile khandibe chittera ajnanadi dosha. 4 effects, Chaitanya Charitamrita states, will happen when you start hearing about Krishna, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First effect is simply by submissively hearing. Shunile. Submissively means you hear, just hear what they are telling. Let me try to hear. You may understand, don't understand is a different matter. Simply hear, because this is a very powerful sound. Hare Krishna mantra is a powerful sound. Anything about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, what I am speaking, you may hear, you may understand or don't understand, doesn't matter. You have heard. That is important. So Chaitanya, the Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Shunile khandibe chittera ajnanadi. By submissively hearing, it will free one's heart from all faults of ignorance. Yes, see? Faults of ignorance. We'll discuss about faults of ignorance. In fact, in the Mahabharata, Udyoga Parva, there's a description of different types of ignorance covering our heart. Said there are 5 types of ignorance. What are they? First ignorance is accepting the body to be self. Dehatma buddhi. I am the body. That is first ignorance. Secondly, because I am the body, my standard of enjoyment is enjoying my senses. Second ignorance. One ignorance due to one more ignorance. Right? And thirdly, because I want to enjoy sense gratification, if there is some disturbance in enjoyment of sense gratification, there is anxiety. Anxious due to material identification. Just see, one after other. First ignorance is, I am this body. Second is, I am body, so my level of enjoyment, standard of my enjoyment is sense gratification. And sense gratification, I want to have always, and I am very anxious to get sense gratification. And thirdly, when you don't get sense gratification, you are lamenting. So, shochati, kankshati. Right? Then the fifth ignorance is thinking that there is nothing, there is something beyond the absolute truth. Means God also is there, Krishna also is there, something else also is there. That is ignorance. So when you hear about Krishna, when you hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first effect you see is the heart is freed from all these faults of ignorance. Secondly, it is said when you hear about Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happens? Krishne Gadha Prema Habe. You will develop, you will achieve deep love for Krishna. You see, anything you hear Hare Krishna, you will develop love for Krishna. You hear Bhagavad Gita, you will develop love for Krishna. You hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will develop anything about Krishna, anything from Prabhupada here, you will develop love for Krishna. Second effect. Third effect is Paive Santosha. You will achieve the path of, you will attain satisfaction or the path of peace. Right now, heart is full of dissatisfaction, disappointment. When you hear about Krishna, you feel internal satisfaction, peace. And fourth effect is Sunile Janibe Saba Vastu Tattva Sara. He said, by hearing about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, what happens? You will learn the essence of the absolute truth. You learn the essence of absolute truth. It means Saba Vastu Tattva Sara. Just see, Krishna is what is he telling? He's telling about Kshetra, Kshetragya, Prakriti, Purusha, Jnana, Jnaya. Ordinarily, people don't understand these things. They are busy in their own world. Yesterday, plane crashed. What happened? Who is alive? Who is dead? Why this plane crashed? So many things they'll be analyzing. Oh, we got on Bhagavad Gita, which was only thing which was not burned out. Why? Why not? The person who was reading Gita was saved. Something and all. Again, one more message I got. Maybe that person who was saved, he was reading Bhagavad Gita. That's why he jumped off. Like this, many, many stories people bring up. So, point is, what is the essence of the truth of this world around us? Absolute, what is absolute truth? These people don't know. So like this, the various aspects of realization will dawn upon all of us, just like we discussed. The first thing is that the chitta or our heart will be freed from different ignorance and different faults. Right? That is what is the now ignorance is covering us so densely. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you start chanting, what happens? Cheto darpana marjanam. First effect is your heart is cleansed, cleaned. The heart is compared to a mirror is covered with dust. You start chanting and hearing, heart is cleaned. All the misconceptions, wrong, ignorance that I am the body, bodily gratification is highest, and anxious for the bodily gratification. When you don't get gratification, you are lamenting. Something else other than God is there. This all ignorance sitting in our consciousness. All that will go away. Worshipping Krishna is the only purpose of life. This will awaken. Right? That is the point. So like this, when you hear from authorities, this message of Krishna will enter our heart and it will cleanse our heart. It will clean our heart. Hearing is stressed so much in Kali Yuga, especially. Chanting and hearing is stressed so much. That's why Prabhupada Vani, you go on hearing. Prabhupada books you read, what Prabhupada has said, you start following. Keep that in your consciousness. That's what it is mentioned here. Simply, if you remember what is being told, what you hear from Prabhupada, good enough. Prabhupada told, chant every day 16 rounds. Prabhupada said, every day have prasadam. Let me have prasadam. Simply, if you follow this, enough. Then what happens? Krishna says here, because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Just see. Chepi tajitanteva mrutyum shruti parayana. That is the whole purpose. Again, Krishna is stressing on this point. Simply becoming atheist or agnostic or non-believer, faithless person, good for nothing. Right? You don't know what is life, what is happening with your life. Simply want to, in your own logical way, your own, some your own presentation you want to give of life. What is the use? There are facts, there are truths, which are existential truths beyond your understanding. That will all be revealed to us when you hear from authorities. That's why it's called Avaroha Pantha. Parampara system is that. Heard from authorities. So Krishna is stressing here basically with regard to how when you start hearing, you will develop the proper faith towards the system of Vedic understanding. And this will enable you to come out of the cycle of birth and death from this material world and go back to spiritual world. Right? So what are those essential truths Krishna is going to explain? When you hear from authorities, what are you going to understand? In the next set of verses, Krishna is going to explain how you will develop a proper vision. Verse number 27. The first understanding Krishna gives is Yavat samjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetragna samyoga tadvidhi bharatarshava. Vision means seeing with knowledge. Not simply seeing like any other living entity. Right? Animals also see. But their vision is not with knowledge. Their vision is ignorant vision. A human being is supposed to develop the vision of knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and see accordingly. Right? So, Krishna says, whatever you see in existence, both moving and non-moving, right? It is only a combination of kshetra kshetragna samyoga. It's a combination of field of activities, kshetra, and kshetragna, knower of the field of activity. Right? So basically, Krishna is telling in the material nature, whatever you see, material world around you, whatever you see, field of activity means what? It's material nature. And kshetragna means, knower of the field means spirit soul, living entity. The material nature and living entity, they are combined. Means this body means what? This body is having spirit soul within and the body given by material nature. That's what we understood in the last session. So, living entity and Prakriti, both are eternal. Prakritim Purusham Vidhyana Adi Ubhavapi, Krishna said in verse number 20. Right? Both are eternal. But a combination of the living entity and the material nature, different permutation combination is happening based on the living entity's desire to enjoy. So when you see a person, you're not simply seeing as one body. You see within the body there is a spirit soul. This is what Krishna has been telling from beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Don't simply see Deha, see Dehi in the body. Dehi means spirit soul. Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara. The spirit soul is constant, present, whereas the body is changing. The soul is transmigrating from one body to another. Dehantara, Krishna said. So in different ways, Krishna has been explaining. And Krishna also said in 5th chapter, Samadarshana, or the Adhyatmika Divya Darshana, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Shunicheva Shapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. When you see different living entities around you, Brahmana means one learned person, Gavi means a cow, Hastini, elephant, then a Shudra, a Chandala. Right? All of them may be having different bodies because of their different karma. But all of them, spiritually, they are all having spiritual spark, same spiritual spark. But because the living entities, different activities and desires, they have got different bodies based on their previous action-reaction cycles, karmas. Right? So, Krishna is telling us here, when you see living entities around you, you don't simply see as a living entity separate from Krishna. You see the super soul within the body of every living entity. Whatever you see, you should see it as a combination of living entity and material nature. And who has created this combination is the point. Right? When you see around you, there are so many trees, mountains, hills. Even mountains, hills are also living entities. But they cannot move. They are called sthavara. As Krishna says here. Sthavara. Jangama means the living entities which can move. Right? So all of them are only combination of material nature, Prakriti, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Oh, that's what you should see. When you see a plant, you should see this plant is not simply on dead matter. It is having a living entity in it. That's why it is growing. Any entity, any animal you see, it is having a spirit soul, but that spirit soul is having this type of a covering. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us here. So, basically, Krishna is trying to explain to us that unless the spirit soul is in the body, or rather spirit soul enters the womb of a mother, the body cannot grow. The existence of the spirit soul is the reason for the body to exist. Suppose soul lives, it's like sometimes it say a child is born dead, right? Maybe in the womb of the mother only the child. Dead means spirit soul is over, gone. It is delivered, child will not grow. Why? Soul is not there. Right? The spiritual touch or the spirit's presence is the cause of the growth of the body or existence of the body. Right? So, this combination of body and soul or matter and spirit is eternally going on. And this combination is done by whom? Krishna. Karmana deva netrena jantur dehopapattaye. So, Krishna, who is the controller of Prakriti and the living entities, he is putting the living entities within this. This we are going to see in the next chapter. Krishna says how he is placing the living entities in this material nature, and he is acting as a aham bija pradapita. He is acting as a seed-giving father. Krishna says. And Prabhupada says the material nature is created by him, and the superior nature, that is we living entities, is placed in the material nature, and thus all these activities and manifestations take place. So when you see anybody, any living entity around us, either living or either moving or non-moving, you should understand that it is a combination of Prakriti and spirit soul. Kshetra, Kshetrajna. This is a wonderful vision, realization. When you hear from Bhagavad Gita, you understand this. Next, very interesting. This set of verses, very interesting. Next, Krishna says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. So like this, one who sees the super soul, Parameshwaram, accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. Basically, Krishna is giving us the understanding of what should be your vision. Pashyati, pashyati. Krishna is using these words. How to know, how to understand, how to see things properly. Generally, what we understand, yesterday plane crash happened, and all of them are dead and gone. No, their bodies are finished, but spirit soul is taken one more body. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. The very beginning of second chapter, what does Krishna say? Your grandfather Bhishma, Arjuna, and your teacher Drona, they may change the body. That's all. That is called death. They'll get a new body. Why are you lamenting? Right? So the point is, with regard to ordinary understanding, when the spirit soul is no more in the body, they say, over, finished. That is not understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Spirit soul leaves the body, the soul takes one more body based on his whatever his thinking, the thought process at the time of death. Now Krishna is telling, not only spirit soul, there is also super soul. Which means that many people who are supposed to be dead as per the outside world, they with their super soul have left their bodies and taken one more body. Very simple. Right? This is what Krishna is telling. So, if you say that, oh, this soul got killed, super soul got killed, that is ignorance. Vinashyati avinashyantam. It is never destroyed. What did Krishna say in the second chapter? Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo shosha evacha. Right? He said, spirit soul cannot be burned, cannot be cut to pieces, cannot be withered by, it is insoluble, unbreakable, right? Like this, many things Krishna said. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pava. No weapon can cut it, no fire can burn it. Just see, spirit soul cannot be burned, whatever intensity of fire may be. Only body is burned. Nothing can dissolve the spirit soul. No amount of water can dissolve it. Nainam chandanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na shoshayati. No, any type of wind cannot, carry it. Right? It cannot be withered by the wind. Right? Na shoshayati marutaha. No wind can dry it away. Krishna already has explained all these things. So, we should always see, first of all, first understanding is what? Everything in the material world, any living entity you see, either it is static or moving, they are all combination of spirit, soul and matter. Secondly, along with the living entity, there is also super soul. Always present. So, super soul is always there with the individual soul. So long the living entity realizes that I am supposed to be liberated from this world, let me practice devotion seriously and go back to spiritual world. When he goes back to spiritual world, super soul leaves him. Because the spiritual world is with Krishna. That's what happens. So, this second vision, second type of our seeing world. When you see somebody is passed away, along with him super soul was there, they are not killed. They have just changed the body. Super soul is transplanted into one more body based on his karma, because he's sitting and watching. Example of two birds in a tree, the Upanishad gives. One bird is eating the fruit, other bird is simply witnessing. Body, this tree is the body. Right? What all activities we are doing, super soul is watching. Accordingly, it is giving you different results. And whatever your desires, super soul knows. So accordingly, it will award one more body to you through the agency of material nature. So, soul is killed or super soul is killed is all nonsense understanding. They are eternal, they are ever existing. Right? Neither the soul nor super soul is ever destroyed. When you have this vision, you're actually seeing. Next, verse number 29. Samam pashyan hi sarvatra samavasthitam ishwaram na hinsati atmanatmanam tato yati param gatim. Here Krishna says, further, first we understood this, any living entity, static or moving, they are a combination of spirit, soul and matter. And along with the living entity, in every body there is super soul, and both are never destroyed. Simple. Thirdly, Krishna says that one who sees the super soul in every living being and equal everywhere does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. Right? Basically, Krishna is trying to tell us the Samadarshana aspect. What he explained in the 5th chapter. Krishna is telling that you should not simply see a person as one separate entity, independent, existing, without any connection with Krishna's arrangement, super soul within him. We should see, as Prabhupada says, if one understands that Supreme is situated in this Paramatma manifestation everywhere, not only in the living entities, now Krishna is expanding his understanding. With the living entity, Paramatma is there. Apart from the Paramatma is in every atom, everywhere. Brahma says, Andantarastha Paramanu Jayantarastham. Every atom Paramatma is there. Everything, what you have, what you see around us is existing because Paramatma is there. Super soul is existing everywhere. So, Paramatma is not only in every living being, in every atom. Wow, wonderful. So, Krishna says, if you have this vision, this understanding, Samam Pashyan, this Pashyan means seeing like this. But Paramatma is everywhere, all pervading. That's what Krishna said. Adoraniyam, Mahato Mahiyam. Right, in 8th chapter, 1 verse is there, prayer. Krishna says how to see him. He says, very nicely in the 9th verse, he says, Kavim Puranam Manushasitaram Anoraniyamsha Manusmaredyaha Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. How one should meditate upon Krishna, Krishna says. Right? After telling, if you remember me at time of death, you will come to me, Krishna said. After that, he says, how to meditate upon me. We should meditate Krishna as one who knows everything. Kavim. Kavi means he knows everything. Past, present, future. Purana, he is the oldest personality. Anushasitaram, he is the supreme controller. Right? Then, Anoraniyamsham is important. He is smaller than the smallest. Right? Prabhupada says how he is so inconceivable, so small, and all pervading, maintaining everything. He is within the soul. That much small he is. Right? He is smaller than the smallest, and he is maintaining everything. Sarvasya Dhataram, and he is inconceivable. Right? And he is always effulgent, always luminous like the sun, transcendental, like this is the way meditation you have to do. So here Krishna is again giving that understanding. First thing is understood. Anything you see in the world is a combination of matter and spirit, living entities. And living entity, not simply alone, super soul also is there in every body. And super soul and soul are never destroyed. Body is destroyed. And thirdly, Krishna is telling the super soul and super soul is in not only in every living entity, he is in every atom of creation. So one who can see super soul is all pervading. Super soul is with every living entity. Krishna says, Na hinsati atmanatmanam. He does not degrade himself, which means he will not come down in his understanding. It's like telling, now if I say, Sushila ji, just for example, I saw you yesterday, you're begging in the street. If I say that, it's sort of an insult for you, right? Prabhuji, why I should beg? I have enough in my home. It is degrading your status. Right? So right now we have done that. We are thinking Krishna is not there. Krishna is not everywhere. Krishna is only in temple. Krishna is only in somewhere. No, that is degrading Krishna. Krishna is everywhere, in atom, with every living entity, in every bacteria, everywhere he is there. One who can see Krishna everywhere in different ways, different manifestations, he'll not degrade in his consciousness. He therefore gradually advances in spiritual life, Krishna Prabhupada says. Why? Because in the material world, generally we are self-centered. Atmavat manyate jagat. Means we only think I exist and everything, the whole world is revolving around me. I am the boss. I am the master. Self-centered. This self-centeredness is the cause of our bondage in the material world. But when we transfer this self-centeredness to Krishna-centered understanding, oh, Krishna is the center. He is doing everything. He is actually doing everything. We are trying to imitate. That's the problem with us. So this self-centeredness is creating a lot of arrogance, pride, ignorance in me. If I start thinking, oh, from here I'm controlling the whole world, it is ignorance. That's what some so-called spiritualists think. I am controlling the universe. You can't even control yourself. What will control the universe? Prabhupada says, when there is toothache, you run to the dentist. You can't even control toothache. You're telling I'm controlling the universe? Nonsense. Prabhupada says. So like this, people are all trying to cheat. We are mostly having our consciousness, our understanding centered around body and bodily centered, various understandings. Me, mine, mama, aham, mama. That's called self-centeredness. But Krishna has been teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, nirmama, nirahankara, right? Very beginning he's been teaching this. You are not the body, nothing is yours. But I am been thinking, it is mine, I am that, I am big man, I am intelligent man, I am such a big person, I can do that, this, oh, no end. So this is our conditioning. But when we transfer this conditioning of our mind to Krishna and say, Krishna, you are everything. You are controlling everything. You, under your direction only, whatever happened yesterday in the flight crash, under your direction only it is happening. Anything everybody is doing, Krishna only is controlling. Then you may question, why did Krishna allow this flight crash, Prabhuji? Right, it is none of our business. Why Krishna did that? There's so many things, complications in everybody's life. There is an individual karma and collective karma happening. Yes, definitely we have our condolences for the, for those people who have, left their bodies. But Krishna has a plan. It's like in the 11th chapter, Vishwarupa, what did Krishna say? Arjuna, you are lamenting for the death of your, grandfather, your teacher, but I have already killed them. Just see in my Vishwarupa form, they're all rushing towards my mouth like insects. They're all like fuming. My mouth is having blazing fire coming out. They're all rushing and they're dying. So Krishna has a master plan in this whole world, how to do things, how to control things. If Israel is destroying the nuclear bases of Iran, it is not that Krishna is not aware. Krishna only has sanctioned Israel to do that. Anything happening in this world, Krishna only has sanctioned. That's what this chapter is telling. No. Upadishta, Anumanta. Everything Krishna knows, everything Krishna only has to sanction. Only then things will happen. Right? So there are so many complexities in the material world with regard to different functions happening. How and what, it's beyond our range of purview. It's like in your room, there will be some ant on corner of the room. What you are doing now with Bhagavad Gita class, how does it know? It doesn't even have that sense to understand. Like that, this whole creation, so many activities happening with different people, different karmas, and so many. Krishna knows. He's Abhigna. Right? So like this understanding of my insignificant position and Krishna's all-knowing position, all-pervasive, all-powerful position, right? This is what Krishna expects us to, elevate ourselves, not degrade ourselves. Degradation means I am bombing. Trump is telling, now Iran will see more bombing. As though Trump wants to imitate like God. Right? So like this, everybody wants to imitate God, self-centered. So from self-centeredness to make it Krishna-centered, then you will not degrade your consciousness. Right? That's what Krishna is trying to tell us here. So mind should turn towards super soul's all-pervasiveness, all-powerfulness. That's what Krishna is trying to tell us here. It is everywhere. Even in the atom is there. If you have this understanding always, Krishna is in control. Krishna is doing everything. Whatever is happening is under his supervision. Everything is happening for the good of the world. This vision you have, Krishna says, you will reach the transcendental destination, reach supreme world, spiritual world very soon. Right? So when there was a Pakistan war going on 1971, one reporter asked Prabhupada in Delhi, war was going on at that time. So Swamiji, what happens if a bomb comes and now hits all of you? What will happen? Prabhupada said, we'll just chant Hare Krishna. Krishna wants the bomb has to come and fall. Chant Hare Krishna. Who can stop? He was expecting some other answer from Prabhupada. So like this, we always say, we should all run away, we should hide in some place. Something like that answer he was expecting. Prabhupada said, yes, let it come. We are always ready, anytime. Krishna will, if bomb has to fall on us, it will fall. Right? So it's like that. Basically, Lord is in control. Lord is omnipotent, all, is omniscient. He knows everything. So very simple, we understood today. There are different spiritual disciplines trying to, understand the truth of this world. Truth of the world culminates in knowing the super soul, Paramatma. But there are so many so-called spiritual disciplines who fail to reach this understanding, but settle down with whatever they want to understand because of their not having clarity with regard to the real truth, right? So-called, they may be calling so-called dhyana, they'll be doing so-called some jnana process, so-called some karma process they will be doing. But if you get in touch with the authentic process, then slowly, gradually you'll realize. But the best process is, as Krishna recommends, if you hear from authorities, then that awakening of your spiritual instinct will immediately rise up, and you will come to the right path within no time. That's what Krishna recommends here. It is the secret in this chapter. And then Krishna says, when you develop this awakening, what type of vision you will develop? You will see that every living entity, whether moving or non-moving, all of them is a combination of matter and spirit. And secondly, it is not simply living entity alone. Also, super soul is there, and matter may get destroyed in course of time, but soul and super soul are eternal, and they always move forward. Rather, the soul facilitates super soul facilitates the soul to get one more body. And further, developed vision is that, wherein the advanced vision is that super soul is not only with every living entity, is also in every atom. He's all powerful, all pervading, and you can see super soul everywhere, how he's acting. This is spiritually advanced vision, right? So this vision will elevate you or qualify you to go to spiritual world. You see super soul everywhere, always, how super soul is acting, right? Paramatma is acting, right? Prabhupada says there are statements in Vedic literatures, even a grass cannot move without super soul sanction. Right? Human being, as long as he doesn't see this and thinks I am doing everything, because of me things are happening, is because of ahankara. Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. It's all Krishna doing it through his prakriti in different ways, based on different karmas. But if we assume I am doing it, that is wrong. That is what we understood today. The next session, we'll try to complete this chapter. Another 5-6 verses are there, small verses. Okay, fine. So I will conclude here. Anybody having anything to discuss and ask, you can discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Particularly in the last several weeks, so many things have been happening that we would consider disturbing. But especially what we have learned today's chapters, today's verses, we don't feel that anxiety. Like yesterday's air crash, we realize it's the bodies that perished, not the soul and the soul. So wonderful explanation today.
Yeah, that's what. If you read Bhagavad Gita, we will be free from anxiety.
Yes.
Of this world. You'll understand Krishna is doing everything. Why anxiety?
Yes.
Like Prabhupada went to Western countries. His anxiety was only to preach. He was not anxious where I will eat, where I will sleep, how I will maintain myself. That is Krishna. That's what Krishna says. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshema vahamyaham. Right? Yogakshema means Krishna is taking care of everything of a devotee. Devotee is only worried about how to glorify Krishna. He is not worried about his personal maintenance, what will happen in the world. What will happen? Krishna is in control. Right? And he will do his duty, what is required at that point of time. But he will not be so much anxious. Oh, now plane crash has happened. Somebody sent a message yesterday. Like somebody shared a message saying, life is so unpredictable. See, some incidents happen in life now. People get realization. Life is so unpredictable. You go for a vacation and terrorists shoot you. You go to a trophy parade and it ends in a stampede. You go in a flight for work or vacation and it crashes. And you're studying in your hostel and the plane falls on your head. right? So people realize these things when some calamity happens. But seeing the reality, truth of life is, you should see this always, no? Every step there is danger. Only when some sort of a emergency accident happens, you feel, oh, some problem. Bhagavata says, every step you have to feel danger. Material world is like that. Anything can happen anytime. Who predicted what will happen next moment? Right? So point is, when you are Krishna conscious, like Prahlad Maharaj, he was least bothered what is going to happen to him. He was only busy in remembering Krishna. And every moment you see Krishna was protecting him. Right? That's the point. So what will happen to the world, this anxiety about world situation? Prabhupada, somebody asked Prabhupada, the World War III is going to start 1975. What to do? Well, why are you worried? You go on chanting Hare Krishna and do your duty. What will happen? Krishna will take care. Prabhupada said like that. Right? So like this, the perspective of the world changes. Perspective of how things are happening will change. Otherwise, you take that thing and you become so anxious and you are not able to work properly in the ordinary course of life. That's the point. Okay, fine. Good. So let's read this. It's very interesting, this chapter is, and then the type of vision Krishna expects us to develop. Okay, I close here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.